Hi, welcome to Chords and Common Tones, how to use them for your own harmonies. I'm Libby McLaren.
And I'm Celia Ramsay. Back in 2022, we recorded our lesson number 5, how to create your own harmonies. And it's packed with a lot of really cool information. We have a little more experience with creating these videos now, and we worry that lesson 5 is so packed with info that you could find it overwhelming. So we've decided to split a few things into separate videos and re-record a few others.
So, in this podcast, we want to explain how understanding chords and common tones between related chords can help you write your own harmonies and or communicate with other musicians you'd like to work with. With his permission, we'll be using a snippet of David Francey's fine song, Come Rain or Come Shine. Knowing your melody first will help you hear when the harmony is rotten or gold. You are teaching yourself to trust your ear. But let's return to chords for a moment. Why do we care about chords for harmony singing? After all, they're not the melody or the harmony, right? And what is a chord? Is it a combination of notes? Yes. It's usually 3 or 4 notes played together to form a harmony, so they are part of this harmony thing.
Chords help us choose harmony notes. When you or your instrumentalist changes chords, you hear that you need to change the harmony notes you're singing because the chord changed. And that changes what harmony notes sound good.
Boy, is that true. Okay, so our goal is to teach you the difference between a harmony note that sounds great and one that doesn't, simply because it's not a note that is included in the chord that is supporting the melody at that moment. And besides that, you can guess that understanding chords helps us communicate with instrumentalists who use them, say on guitar or piano. Let's show you what we mean.
Once again, we're using David Francey's Come Rain or Come Shine, as we did in our Hunting for Harmonies podcast. We sing the song in the key of C. So the chords we can use are C, the 1 chord, F, the 4 chord, and G, the 5 chord. Though the song starts in C, the refrain starts on the F chord. Here's a little chunk to show you what we mean. Libby's going to play the chords and she's going to call them out as I sing the melody slowly. So it goes like this.
F chord.
I want to tell
C
you,
chord.
come rain
F chord.
or come shine.
G chord.
That sounds good. And those are the chords that the songwriter chose for this song. Just for a moment, let's do that again with different chords so you can hear how weird it sounds compared to how the song was written. Particularly pay attention to the last word, shine. Libby's going to play the chords and call them out. Here we go.
F.
I want to tell
G.
you, come rain
C.
or come shine. And
E.
hopefully you hear the difference. The first chord is the same, but none of the others are in the same order as in the songwriter's version. And the final chord really just sounds wrong. That's when we are playing an F chord while the melody note is a G, and they clash. So let's explain more about this. We show you this on a piano keyboard later in this video, so you'll have a good visual, but let's tell you that the notes that form an F chord are F, A, and C. That's a triad. 1, 3, 5, F, A, C. And these can be great choices for harmony notes as long as you're in the F chord. But also remember, and this is a great trick, you can also use the notes that fall between F, A, and C because they also sound good. So that means the notes you can include while using the F chord are F, G, A, B flat, and C. Check it out. The melody usually has some combination of those notes. when you're using that chord. I want to
F and A, B, G, then an A. F, G, A.
I want to. Notice that these sound good while we're playing the F chord, but also notice that the melody used the G and a between note and before moving to the A, and it sounded good. Now, listen to how it sounds when the chord changes to C.
So first the F chord.
I want to tell
C
you, come. The notes changed there. Now notice that we needed to switch to the C chord because the melody notes included E and D. Those notes aren't in between the notes for the F chord, which is why the chord change was necessary. As the song continues, it goes back to the F chord, followed by a G chord on the word shine.
So start with the F chord.
Okay. We're on the rain or come shine part. We want to kind of rain or come shine. Now listen to the entire phrase.
F chord.
I want to tell you, come
Back to
rain or come shine. So, summarizing what we just said, the notes in between the triad, remember those are the three notes that form the chord, that we can sing when playing the C chord are C, D, E, F, and G. So when the C chord is being played, that part of the melody is using those notes. Your harmony notes will probably also be among those. And likewise, the in-between notes that we can sing when using the F chord are F, G, A, B flat, and C. And for the G chord, the in-between notes are G, A, B, C, and D. So when those chords are being played, your harmony notes might also be among those. Hopefully you see that this is helpful because you'll know that when the harmony sounds off, it's because you've chosen a note that is outside of the chord or the in-between notes that accompany that part of the harmony.
We mentioned this in our Hunting for Harmonies podcast, but we want to repeat it here. You might think that you can pick notes that are just a third above any of the melody notes. That's called singing in parallel thirds. But now, hopefully, you understand why they might sound bad. It might be because the chord has changed. That's when it's necessary to change your strategy and use a common tone or the notes from the new chord for your harmony. Just remember that when it sounds wrong, you can switch to using notes from the appropriate chord until you find one that you like. So what is a common tone? They are the notes that are common to more than one chord. So in addition to the in-between notes, you can use common tones for harmony note choices. Now, we're going to show you some stuff on a piano and a visual that might help you clarify what we've just described. Okay, now, here we are. We're going to look at what the different notes are in the scale. We're going to decide how to make the chords, the major triads out of those notes, and we'll proceed forward. So first off, let's begin with C. That's middle C there. And we're going to run through the C major scale, tone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. C major scale. However, let's just concentrate on what the 1, the 3, and the 5 are. 1, 2 we don't need, 3, 4 we won't use, and 5. 1, 3, 5, C major triad, C, E, G. C, E, G, awesome. Okay, if we did the same exact situation with F, we would be F, not a G, that's the 2, A is the 3, B flat is the 4, we don't use that, and C is the 5, F, A, C. And to finish with the G chord, we'll use the same situation where G is the 1, we don't use A as the 2, we'll use B for the 3, not the 4, which is C, and D, which is the 5. G, B, D, 1, 3, 5. Come back to C major, C, E, G. Now then, where we get really interesting is when we look at common tones. If we take a C chord and we compare it to an F chord, we realize that there is a common tone, and that is C. So we have C, E, G. When we go to the F chord, our common tone is the C. If we take the C chord and we're going to a G chord, the common tone is G. So between a C chord and a G chord, our common tone is G.
Here is an illustration of common tones for the key of C. So if you see the piano keyboard there, you see the names of the letters of the keys spelled out C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. Below that, you'll see there's some colored lines. And for the key of C, the triad that you need basically includes the notes C, E, and G. And that is indicated with a turquoise set of lines to show you the key of C. The 4 chord, or would be the chord that starts on the note 4 notes above C. So C, D, E, F is the 4 chord. And the triad notes, the notes that comprise the triad for the key of F, the chord F, are F, A, and C. And those are illustrated with a darker blue line. Finally, the 5 chord is G, C, D, E, F, G, and the triad notes for that are G, B, and D. And so you see that indicated with a pink set of lines. And you'll notice that the illustration's got the 1, the 4, and the 5 chord underneath the letter names of the chords. What you need to see is that C is a common tone for the chord C, and it's also in the chord F. So the common tones for C and F are C. Then you should also notice that the common tones for the chords C and G is G. So hopefully from this, you can sort of get an idea. This is an illustration of what Libby has just been explaining on the piano keyboard.
By the way, in this lesson, we have used key of C chords, C, F, and G, and notes 1 through 5 for those chords for the sake of keeping the lesson clear and simple. But hopefully, you can guess that other notes beyond those chords and those 5 notes are likely candidates for melody and or harmony notes, depending on what key you need to sing in and how the song was written.
We're using a lot of words here, so if you're confused about any part of this, please review the podcast in small dollops until you feel like you understand each piece of it. It's complicated. Understanding chords and common tones will help you when creating your own harmonies, or they'll help you be better at asking questions and communicating with accompanists or bandmates. These things give you added vocabulary and build your superpower as a harmony singer.
Your superpower.
Superpower.
Be sure to check out our related podcasts, Intervals Explained and Hunting for Harmonies, Collaborating with a Friend or Working Alone with a Very Cool App. And if you have any questions about any of the material in these podcasts, just ask us in the comments, because someone else is probably curious about that very same thing. Thank you so much for watching. Keep on singing.
Bye!